Good morning. This is Devin with Homeschool House Calls. We are in two groups today, homeschooling, homeschooling supermoms, and how do I homeschool? Um, anyway, this is going to be this is one of the hard topics. We are going to talk about planning for that worst case scenario. Let me make sure y'all can hear me. Sometimes I tend to turn off. No, everything's fine. My mic and speakers, and I don't know whether I have it on or not. But anyway, so today, let me find that. My banners. We're going to talk about making a homeschool plan for your worst case scenario. Okay, so what do I mean about that worst case scenario? I mean, in case mama dies. For those of y'all who don't know me well, I have worked locally. I've homeschooled 17 years. So I've seen a lot. And I have worked as a homeschool leader. Let's see. It is an important topic, and it's painful for me. I work locally. I work with a homeschool community. We have around 4,000 families in our county and the surrounding counties. I also oversee a group that's kind of like if your state may call them cover school, they may call them umbrella school. I have about 300 families. So I work with a lot of mamas. So when I say I'm a consultant, I'm actually a consultant. That's what I call myself. And this year I've had 3 mamas die. And they have been these have been friends, people I called friends. And um, good morning. So when I say that this is an important topic, it is a very important topic. And I know it's a hard topic to talk about because none of us like to talk about our death. We don't, it's uncomfortable. It's scary. It's painful. We don't want to imagine that. We want to imagine it way off. But, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. And we have got to have plans for our kids just so that it makes something that's horrible a little easier. So, like I said, I work with mamas locally. I now work nationally, but I do most of my stuff is local, and I have about 300 families that I consider under my care. And then in the community we have like around 4,000 families. So we're at a strong community, and I've had 3 good friends die this year. So we're going to talk about, and then the thing is, okay, this is one of my points. Mamas don't plan to die and leave our kids. That's the last thing we want to do. But a good mama's going to have a plan in place, and that's what we're going to talk about today, making that plan. And believe me, this is a very hard topic for me to even talk about. So when we talk about plans, I'm not talking about life insurance, wills, and estate planning. That's something you can get from any lawyer. That's something we talk about and don't like to do. That's something I need to do because I'm 51 years old and I have a 6-year-old. I could have if things. She's 5. She's almost 6. She just woke up. This is actually my living room space in my bedroom, and she just woke up. So she may talk, but she can't get on camera. Not until she's up and dressed. That's the rule. So when we're going through that, your first thing that you've got to do is you've got to work on your life insurance and your wills and your estate planning. That's a given no matter what education type you're doing. That is a given. I can't help you with that. I've got to do that. And when I do it, I'll see if I can find somebody who'll let me tape it so that y'all can see me do it, because it is something that I actually need to do. I need to put into a will who will raise Alicia if something happened to me and Nick. But I'm talking about the educational plan. I'm talking about the other stuff. So we're going to go there. So first you need to figure out who's going to raise your children. That's a will part, but you need to have conversations. My husband hates having these kind of conversations, but you need to have conversations. Will they continue to homeschool? Will they put them in public school? You've got to talk about what you want to happen, and you've got them to be honest with you. Don't skirt the issues. And they need to tell you, are they willing to consider homeschooling? Are they willing to continue that? So that you can make a plan. So it's one of those hard conversations. They're not easy to have. I know it's you, Joanna. You're the only person who says "Ola" to me. So the first plan that you make, you need to at least plan to close out that school year, like you said. Let's say it's December. You're in an accident. You die. You have to plan out, at least have a plan for that year, and then a transition plan if they go into the public and private school. It's even better if you have a 5-year plan where you can talk about your children, that where you're taking your children, especially if they're in high school. Putting a high school student into a public or private school is not usually easy. And I'm like, I know I'm throwing a lot of ideas at you, and it's because this is such a hard topic for me. I'm still feeling very emotional. The last mama friend has only been a couple of weeks. So anyway, so you die, the funeral's over. I know there's no way to say that, and your family's picking up the pieces. You want to come here and give me a hug? She just woke up. Why don't you go get your sisters to get you some breakfast? Go get them some breakfast. Well, let me finish this because it's hard for me to do this and hold you. I know. I love you too. Go find your sisters. Tell it's time to wake up. Wake up. All those teens asleep. No, you can't sit there. Go find your sisters. Thank you. Anyway, so you're there. They're picking up the pieces. These are the things they need to find. The things that your kids may not know where to find. You have to, it's like you have to have. There's certain things you got to find. Your records. You need to have a binder with, at the very least, you need to have a binder with what your state laws are. You can go to Homeschool Legal Defense. If you're a member, you can print that off. You need to go over this with whoever's raising your children so that they are not confused about what is legal, especially if they end up changing houses. If, let's say, you and your husband were in a car wreck and your children are changing houses, they need to know the basic. They need to have a contact person to talk to about the homeschool things if something's confusing. Even your husband. I mean, because I've talked to several husbands this year that, they don't know because the wife handled everything. So you need to have your basic records, what your legal, whatever, like, okay, I'm in Alabama. So in that binder, I print out the basic laws on homeschooling for Alabama. I underline what I'm using, because in Alabama we have three legal options. Underline, highlight the option we use. Then having the legal paperwork. There's one paper that we send in. We use the church school law in Alabama. So taking the actual paper and having the paper there, whatever those laws are. So that basic first section, having how you homeschool and your legal paperwork. Then the second section, you need to have some kind of basic plan so that they know what to do. You don't want them to go and have to go through your homeschool room or your it's just like anything else. You want them to be able to find what's going on, how to do it. Writing out, almost like you're writing out a substitute paperwork for lesson plans. You're right. So I'm going to put that on there. So just writing out where they can find things. It's like one of my examples. Okay, I wasn't dead. I went to jury duty. My husband was the substitute teacher. He was looking at my 7-year-old, asking my 7-year-old, what do you do? The 7-year-old didn't know. And if a child is in the middle of trauma, they're not going to know. And it's okay not to do school. I mean, I'm not saying you pick up the next Monday and you're doing school, but have basic lesson plans and basic list of curriculum. There's curriculum. Having a basic list so that someone can pick it up and they know exactly what's going on and they're not having to search for this stuff. That's one of the things that has happened is people have had to, I've had, like I said, I've had 3 families lose mamas, and they're searching for records and they don't know where they are. That mama did not plan for that to happen. I don't want y'all to ever think that someone's planning for it to happen, but it happens, and you need to have at least one binder that has all the basic information so that someone can grab it, and they have a contact person. So they have somebody, a leader in your area, and let the leader know. Don't let it be like, say, hey, I'm making my worst case scenario plan. I'll have you get listed as their contact if they have questions, and they will. Then you need like a 5-year plan. You need in your records. See, I'm going all over the place. Sorry, this is not an easy topic for me. It makes me emotional. Have your basic records, then have your basic report cards. If something happens, they're putting them back in the public or private school. They will need report cards. A list of curriculum helps, having them know, but have conversations with them, talk it out, say, let's try to stay in homeschooling for at least this year and finish out the year, then make the transition to public school. Give the kids time to transition, because it's a hard world. So have your basic records, first section. Second section, have a list of your curriculum. Third section, have basic lesson plans so that they're not completely, and it could be like in a page protector so that you could periodically update it like every month or so that they can, at least they have somewhere some kind of reference. If you have good lesson planning, have a copy of that in there so that they know. I mean, then they can exactly pick up where you are. If you're like me, keep your school closet clean so that they can find stuff. My teens could probably tell me exactly what they're doing. My kindergartner, almost first grader, she wouldn't be able to. So those are some of the things that you need to work on. If y'all have questions or have ideas, let me know. This is not my long workshop today. So this month, I know this is a completely unfun topic, but Susan is gifting everyone a $20 off coupon code on her record keeping. So y'all can grab that if you want something to use. I think it's very easy to use, but having a binder, just like you would have a binder with your will and your estate planning and your life insurance, add in part of that. It could even be part of the same binder. Have an education plan in place with your school, your records for your homeschool program. Most states have some kind of documentation that you have to do to homeschool, and having that in one place so that they're all together and that they can find them. Same thing with birth certificates, social security cards, having these organized into, I don't have it here. I actually have like a case, but we have not done a will. That's something that's next on my list of things to do. It is hard, and I'm sorry you're going through that. I'm sorry. I mean, it is a hard subject, and it's hard to make a plan, but for our children, I think it's one of the greatest ways of showing them love, because I picked up the pieces. It's not me. I mean, I didn't die, but I've watched parents and dads picking up the pieces. And see, I'll cry because I've watched them pick them up and not be able to find records and not be able to find stuff. And then they're trying to put, divorce situations where kids have had to go back to their dad's home when they were living with their mom and stepdad, helping them find records. And the thing is it breaks my heart because I don't have anything to give them. As a homeschool parent, you are responsible for maintaining these records. And if you don't have them, then nobody, you don't have them. And I think they have them. I just think that most moms, if you're like me, you're planning in your head and you're not putting it out where somebody can find it. And that's what we have to do as moms, is to take it out of our head and put it on paper so that people know. And you have to have the hard conversations. Love has the hard conversations. I love y'all. I don't want to be in the situation where I'm helping your family pick things up. I want all of us, even me, to have plans in place so that it's not so hard, because it's miserable. But as a mom with breast cancer, your first step would probably be to find a veteran homeschool mama in your area and say, hey, if something happens, my worst case scenario, if something happens, you're the contact. He's going to come to you to answer his questions. And then I would start off by making sure all your legal paperwork is in one place and you have tentative records, so that you're not, I mean, it's part of life. It happens. One of my mamas died of COVID, one died of cancer, and the other one had some, I'm not even, just things happen. So, and I don't want to be the mom that doesn't talk about the hard things, because I want your family prepared. And I think it's really a huge showing of love when we prepare for the hard thing. I mean, I have Lacey. I have health issues, and I'm 51. I already know that I will leave her as a young woman. Okay. I'm like, let's say I have 30 more years. In 30 years, she's only 36. Yes, that's an adult, but it's still a very young adult. Most of us don't lose, we don't lose our moms until we're in their 60s and 70s. That's just something that I have to face. And then I need to do a will. We don't have a will. And that's the thing. If you don't have a will, your family may not be able to choose where your kids go. If you and your husband die, if you don't have a will, then a judge is deciding that. If I want Lacey to go to her sister once, let's see, Juliana is 17. Once she hits 19, I will want Lacey to go to her. Cole is 20 right now. He will be the one that will take legally the girls, and then we'll have everything in trust for, to make sure that Lacey has a little bit of money. We have a little bit of stuff to put into trust. But I'm like, I started thinking the other day, I don't even know if I have life insurance anymore. I'm like, that is something I don't think I have. And so you have to think those things through, and it's not easy. Nobody wants to think about the end of their life, but it's a huge amount of love to do that. So for me, I'm looking as a 51-year-old mother of almost 6-year-old. She'll be 6 next week. What can I do to make things easier for all of my people? Juliana will continue to homeschool Elysia, but I want to have plans in place so that it's easy for her, so it's not something hard. Anyway, so let me go find that. Susan is gifting a $20 off coupon code for her record keeping. It is super easy to use. It's regularly $68 this is lifetime access. It's like you buy it once. So it'll be $48 instead. The coupon code is workshop. Also, I'm during August, I will do consulting, 1-hour consulting for only $20. I will help you work through this emotional issue, and we'll work through it, and we can kind of start a plan, because sometimes it's hard to think. Sometimes you just want somebody to hold your hand. I would like someone to hold my hand and help me get my stuff done for Lacey, but I know it's a hard conversation, and I'm keeping it short today. You can get Susan's record keeping, beautiful stuff. And then you can do the consulting. I'll do it for only $20. So what you save on Susan, you can roll it in, and I can help you with your worst case scenario and getting your records in order. But other than that, I just want you to hear my heart that good mamas have a plan, and we can talk about the hard things. And I love y'all. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.